Strong schools support community revitalization and the community spirit of moving forward together. It's one important reason why Wheat Ridge has great schools and a great rich tradition in high school and middle school. Strong schools are one important component in revitalizing a community. Today we're going to check out Wheat Ridge High School and Wheat Ridge Middle School. Both schools are committed to academic and athletic excellence. Let's go check them out. So today I'm here at Wheat Ridge 5 through 8 with Principal Blair. We're going to ask him a few questions today about Wheat Ridge Middle School and how things are going. Some recent changes were made this year and last year on the reorganization of Wheat Ridge 5 through 8. Can you tell us about those changes?
Yeah, about 2.5 years ago, Jefferson County Schools was really looking at budget cuts and how do we become more efficient and effective as a school system. And they really looked at utilization of all the building resources, how schools are staffed, how schools are set and run. And one of the things we looked at that time was closing some schools. It was determined at that time to close Martinson Elementary School. It was a very difficult decision for everybody involved. And with that decision to save some funding for other schools at that point in time, we needed to find a place to house some more additional students. So at that time, the 5th and 6th graders that would have attended Stevens Elementary School as well as Martinson Elementary School needed to come over here to our building. Our building had extra class space, and it was a way to also look at academically and socially emotionally develop a school where we could work with students for 4 years, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, really get to know those students, really get to do some planning for them, get to know their families, and really kind of see what we can do educationally to help support these students.
So can you talk about some of the positive outcomes that have occurred of the merger?
You know, at first I'd say that the parents were probably more concerned than the students were. Students were very excited. The 5th grade, 6th grade students got lockers. They were very happy to kind of be at the big school. It's gone really well. We've kind of separated them a little bit where the 5th and 6th graders have their own pod, their own bathroom. They go to lunch and lunch recess at their own time. They're not integrated with the 7th and 8th graders. But our 7th and 8th graders have just been amazing. They've actually embrace the 5th and 6th graders. They're their younger brothers and sisters in a lot of cases.
Tell us about the Lunch Buddy volunteer program at the middle school.
Yeah, the Lunch Buddy program is a program that's kind of based on some mentorship work, some research on having effective mentors, and knowing that we really wanted to reach out to our students. Start in 5th grade, have community volunteers come and have lunch with our students just to get to know them, let them know that people care about them, care about their education.
I've worked with kids in different fashions for many, many years. I think it's important that the community have children with dreams and hopes and believe that they can achieve them, because one day they will be our leaders. And if they're just sitting back playing video games and thinking that drinking beer and bowling's what life's all about, we're going to have leaders that aren't as good as I think we need. I have the most wonderful group of young ladies, and it is just a joy to come and meet with them. It's just so much fun to spend a few minutes with them and really hope that I'm making some sort of a positive impact in their life.
Well, tell us about the one-to-one LPADS program. It's the grant?
It's a Title I grant. Jefferson County Schools saved a lot of money on different components of the Title I, and we were able to approach Colorado Department of Education, and they were able to give us funding for one-to-one iPads. We're very excited about that. So all teachers have received their iPads this year, and next year every student will get an iPad. I visited Manitou Springs last week about how to integrate that into instruction. Our teachers are very excited. Our students, of course, are really excited. And we're going to be able to differentiate instruction. We're going to be able to put textbooks onto iPads. They're going to be locked down tight where they can't go to different sites. We'll be able to track them. But we'll really be able to engage at a real high level students with those one-to-one iPads.
So what other type of technology is the Wheat Ridge Middle School taking advantage of besides the iPads?
We've been able to upgrade all of our technology. We've purchased a new computer lab, and we have smart boards, of course, in every classroom. But keeping up with technology is hard, and it's expensive. And so with the iPads, we really hope to maybe lessen some of those other technological aspects and really focus on how can we use this individual one-to-one device to increase student achievement.
Can you talk a little bit about the Gifted and Talented program here at Wheat Ridge Middle School?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, 3 years ago, it was a 7th and 8th grade GT program. Last year, we added our 5th and 6th grade GT program, and it continues to grow. This next year, we'll have one 5th grade teacher, we'll have one 6th grade teacher, and we hope to add another teacher in the 7th and 8th grade, so we'll have 2 teachers there. But more than that, it allows us to offer honors type classes in science and social studies, as well as for any student, whether they're GT or just high ability, or they've demonstrated that they really want to challenge themselves with the curriculum and can do the work. We open that up to every student, and so that's been a benefit for all of our students.
Well, as you've probably seen with your population, the demographics of the city is changing in a positive way and a different way. How are you addressing that demographics in the school? That's one question. And the second question would be, if I'm a potential parent moving to Wheat Ridge, what would you say the benefits are of Wheat Ridge Middle School for their children?
Right. You know, we've been a school site here for over 100 years. And in 100 years, you've seen a lot of different changes throughout Wheat Ridge.
That's true.
But one of the things you want to look at is, what do you get for your student here at the school? And I can tell you they're going to get an excellent education first and foremost. We focus on safety, because if kids don't feel safe, they're not going to come. We've increased safety, we've increased expectations for academic achievement. We embrace all diversity. We don't just want to be Anglo, Latino type school. We want to embrace multiculturalism. So one of the things we've really worked on with our staff is culturally responsive teaching strategies. It's really looking at where the student is from, all the many cultures as well, not just the major cultures that we might think of, but all the cultures that kids bring with them, and we try to embrace all of that, make kids feel welcome. The first thing kids want to know is, do I belong here? Do I belong in this school? And I would say when kids come in here, and I just had a kid the other day who their parents are thinking they want to put them somewhere else, and their child looked at them and said, I want to come here. And so that was exciting, because the kid does feel like they belong here. They do feel like they can get a good education. And that's what I would say is give us a try. Come by, take a look, and see the good things that are happening, and talk to a lot of the kids or the teachers as well.
Well, it looks like school's out. Thanks, Principal, for all your information. Thanks for being part of the City of Wheat Ridge.
You know, school just got out, so there's going to be a lot of kids out here in just a minute.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're here now with Principal Wirth from Wheat Ridge High School. Griff, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
So, Griff, tell us a little bit about Wheat Ridge High School, the population, student population, number of teachers. How's it going so far?
Well, we have 1,300 kids at Wheat Ridge High School, about 70 teachers. You know, it's a diverse population. We have kids from every walk of life. We have kids from various backgrounds, a real diverse community that we're working with.
And Griff, you were a student here at one time?
1981 graduate, and one of the beautiful things about Wheat Ridge High School is there's so many of us who come back, and I'm not the only one at Wheat Ridge High School like that. We have 15 teachers who went to school here, and they've chosen to come back and give back to their community because it meant so much to them when they went to school here.
Speaking of the community, there's a lot of changes in demographics in the city of Wheat Ridge. How are you seeing those demographics affect the school, and what is the school doing to address those demographics?
Well, you know what, I guess what we see is, again, it's an increase in diversity. When I went to school at Wheat Ridge, it was a very different student population that we have. We have probably about 40% of our kids that are free and reduced lunch kids. We have about a third of our students who are minority kids. We have a deaf and hard of hearing program. We have a challenge program. We have a gifted program. As we've seen that demographic kind of broaden and we get a bigger slice of diversity, we've tried to welcome that, bring more of that in, and help kids learn how to work with each other, use that as a benefit, use that as a learning opportunity for all of the kids to learn how to work with people who maybe are different than them.
So tell us about the GT program, the special programs, and the art programs, some of the things that you're offering at the high school.
Our gifted program we've had for 5 years now. Students from anywhere in the district, if they're gifted students as they go to high school, they can choose to come to Wheat Ridge High School. We're the only school that has that as a program in the school. What the intent is to give those kids an opportunity to work a little bit more developing their passions and the things they really want to study and the things that they want to do, they really care about, study it more in depth. We're getting a challenge program for students who are challenge students that live in the Wheat Ridge area. I think we've been serving those kids and serving them well for a lot of years, but what that's going to bring to us is a little bit more staffing and support for us to do better with that. Some of the other programs, you mentioned the art program. We have a fabulous art program. One of the real samples that tells you how good it is, 5 years ago, we had an art teacher who had a friend that worked for Vans Shoe Company. He started a class project where the rep from Vans brought in each kid a pair of shoes, and the kids designed them, and they made a fashion show out of this shoe project. 5 years later, we have 1,500 schools across the country that are a part of that program, and it started right here at Wheat Ridge High School. This year, our kids are semifinalists. They're in the final 50 schools chosen. If they win $50,000. They will win an expenses paid trip to go to New York. The final team that wins the whole competition gets their shoes on display at an art gallery in New York City.
And the fact that we were able to get 23 pairs sent so that all 23 studio artists could participate on the shoe really shows what Wheat Ridge goes through to make sure that their kids have fun and are able to afford the supplies. And I think that that's a really great thing that Wheat Ridge does for their students.
Can you describe a little bit, the seniors have a capstone project for English and how that works?
Absolutely. So our capstone program is a program that is the culminating event in the students' K-12 educational experience. The expectation is that they're going to pick something that they're interested in, and they're going to first start by researching it in depth. They're going to write a research paper on it. They're going to have a mentor who's in that field that is going to mentor them in learning more about their topic, more about whatever it is that they're going to need to present for capstone evening. On capstone evening, which is always near the end of April, the students have to get up and give a 20-minute presentation to community members. It's not to their friends, it's not to teachers, it's to community members who we invite in. And so they do that, and it's a 20-minute presentation that really tops off, shows the community exactly how much our kids are able to accomplish and what they've learned when they put their mind to it.
Can you talk a little bit about the Family and Consumer Sciences and the DECA programs, those types of training programs?
In addition to all the academic programs that we have, which we'll get to, we have some of the other programs that help kids to learn careers. It helps them to develop skills necessary. As a district, our mission is to ensure that all of our students are college and career ready. So it really is helping those kids who maybe have some different interests than the core curriculum academics, and helping them to find interests where they can be career ready, step out of our school, and absolutely step into a job and step into the workforce and be successful.
This is the Wheat Ridge High School Career Exploration class. The idea of this class is to teach job skills, job training, customer service, working with other people, basic consumer math, business math. They are in the coffee shop twice a week. We sell to teachers, and then at the rest of the week we're doing job shadows or job shares in the community. We've done job shares at Gunsmoke, Larson Ski and Sport, V&F Tire, Pietro's Restaurant. So all the communities are supporting us by having these students job shadow on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Well, tell us about the great athletic programs we have at the Wheat Ridge High School. There's rich history in football, basketball, some of the other sports. Can you kind of describe those activities?
Wheat Ridge High School was built in 1896. Now, not this building that we're in today, but the original Wheat Ridge School was 1896. Since that time, there have been several different buildings, but we've had a high school in Wheat Ridge continuously since that time. What that has created is the deep roots and the strong foundation in a community that really demands their school to be excellent. The athletic tradition at Wheat Ridge is unlike any other school in Colorado. I think the total right now stands at 47 state titles. The programs that we build are very successful. Now, that's not the whole intent of the program. The intent, again, is the same character development pieces that I talked about. And I think our coaches really push along that line of saying outstanding leaders, outstanding teammates, outstanding work ethic makes a team outstanding. That's how we get to that end goal of a championship. With that said, I've been here 6 years, and in the 6 years I've been here, we've won 7 state titles. Over that time, softball has certainly been just a juggernaut at Wheat Ridge High School for the last decade. State soccer, we won 2 consecutive titles in that. We've won football titles. We've won cross-country titles.
Well, I know that nowadays state law and federal law says we have to look at student learning and student growth by data. So tell us about the data that Wheat Ridge High School is producing through TCAP and CSAP scores.
Great question. So I guess the data that I would use to talk about Wheat Ridge High School's success, it would begin with schoolview.org is a website that you can go to that has Colorado's growth model, and it's put out there by the Department of Education, so it's for every school in the state. What it measures is students' growth over a year's time, and Wheat Ridge High School, we've shown outstanding growth, and I would ask any of the people who live in Wheat Ridge who want to be proud of their school to take a look at that website, and they're going to find out that in the most recent year of testing, which was 2012, on the state standardized tests, Wheat Ridge did a great job. Wheat Ridge is one of 3 secondary schools in all of Jefferson County that had growth scores greater than 50 for every student population in our school.
So Griff, tell us about the technology that you're using here at the high school for student learning.
We have numerous computer labs and things like that. I would also tell you that we have robotics classes that do some fabulous pre-engineering types of programs. We have a CAD, computer-aided drafting class, that actually what they've been working on this year is designing a steam locomotive. We have tech classes that teach about website design, web pages, and the other piece of it that really is pretty cool, we do a lot with video work. In fact, if anyone wanted to go to our website, I think there's still a link to the lip dub we did last year. Quite honestly, instead of us trying to teach students those skills, a lot of times it's us allowing students the freedom to have appropriate assignments, but to use their knowledge and the technology within the building to creatively explore who they're going to be in their future.
So Griff, why is it important for a community like Wheat Ridge to have a strong high school and strong middle schools?
The first and simple answer that you hear often is property values. It goes way beyond that. I want to send those kids out there to make a difference. One of the big pieces that we talk about is service learning. We don't have it as a graduation requirement, but we've got classes where the teachers, it's part of their curriculum and part of the expectation. We have an athletic director who, when kids are in trouble, gives them community service hours. I think it's about teaching our kids to accept it and be the caretakers of our future. And I really believe that there's a big part of it, that the strong community support for a school and then the hard, effective work by the school helps that cycle to continue and build our communities stronger.
Tell us a little bit about public safety and safety at the school. As a parent, I want to know that when my son or daughter goes to the high school, they're safe. Can you talk about the school resource officer and some of the programs you have in place for school safety?
Absolutely. Great community partnership with the police department. And they are so supportive of us, and they gave us their best policeman to work in our building. Barry Malloy is a fabulous guy, and he has told me that more than once, that this is your school when it comes to education, this is my building when it comes to safety.
How do you think Wheat Ridge High School helps us attract and retain strong households in the city of Wheat Ridge?
Well, I think as the city is trying to create that influx of strong households, you have more good programs, and you have great academics, and you have good athletics, and you have all of the things that a family looks for in a quality, comprehensive education. That continues to draw those people in, and the more people who have that experience, the word spreads. And I think that's probably the message that both of us want to give. Our school is great, and our city is great. Come to Wheat Ridge.
Well, thanks, Principal Wirth. Have a good summer.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to sit and talk.
Well, thanks for the information. Being part of the educational process, I'm very proud to be part of these schools, and I enjoy seeing students move forward together and actually see them growing and learning within the community.